service provider that she tried to date somebody, or whether it was a he or she, I don't quite remember now, and they couldn't create the kind of person he wanted to meet on the app, so he took them to court. But the conversation that then started about whether or not the case should have gone on or shouldn't have gone on was that the reality is that there's a generation of young people today who did not go to literary and debating society, who were not in that groove where we were. And I see Bola, Mrs. Ayeni shaking her head, who were not trained how to engage with young teenagers of their type. We used to call it basing. Then it became chasing. Then it became toasting. And that the only way they can deal with that now is an informal relationship on an app. Are we paying attention to that as parents? And I thought that I should dimension how dramatically our world has changed by just addressing that little problem. Because at some point in time, as parents, we start to see marriages, grandchildren, but the process leading to that courtship has really changed. But don't forget, it changed during our ancestors' time too. The app then was Alarino. You could actually not talk directly. So I will leave it there just to dimension what we need to focus on. And to then say also that advances in sciences and medicine have made it possible for many of us to stay here longer than perhaps we ought to be. That is a positive thing. And perhaps, in my own view, because we are not exiting as quickly as we used to do 40 years ago, perhaps we are crowding out those who are coming behind. Somewhere, I think we need to find a balance that works. Because then, and this happened a few years ago, they said life starts at 40. Now there are 60-year-old men and women who are still wearing hot pants and moving around. And I see my wife, Abimbola, acknowledging that. So when she told me a few weeks ago that she was wearing cut jeans, so I want us to also focus on that. We are not going as quickly as we used to, and that's healthy. And therefore, perhaps, we must then listen to what these are children, because it's not enough just to call them young people. They actually are children, are saying that when are we going to get out of the space? We must then ask ourselves, as we seek to map the future for them, is our civilization safer today than it was during our time? Can you comfortably and in all honesty say today that the places you could go at 16, 13, when we entered Danfo and Molue, can you leave your 13-year-old to enter Danfo and Molue today? Hello? Then wow. My Attorney General and I tried to do it. We said we were going to throw our children. They were about 7 years, 8 years then younger. Throw them in BRT then and see whether they could find their way. But we never quite got around to it. But there are questions we should just ask ourselves, because we have a lot of work to do as parents. It's not as leaders alone, as parents. And I will share with you where I think parenting is most profound, in its most natural state: animals. I spend a lot of time watching National Geographic. If you don't, you are missing. And it's happening right in our courtyards. If you raise chickens, watch the mother hen when her chicks are raised. The truth is that if she does not protect them, the hawk will kill all of them. There's not enough chicken in the world for hawks to eat. But chickens have survived because the parents have done their work. They know how to protect and hide until those chicks are old enough to identify the shadow. Because they are innocent, it's their mother that knows. Once she sees the shadow, it comes from all sides. But that is the job that we must do more of. That job cannot go to nanny. It can't go to house help. If daddy is busy, mommy must take that job. If mommy is busy, daddy must take it. Grandparents, your job is not done. And let me tell you, if you haven't, lions have an interesting story. The lioness raises her kids, and the ones that are males must leave the family about 2 years old. Otherwise, their father will kill them. It's always a painful disengagement. But you will see when she's going to hunt, as they grow older, she takes them with her. That's their own classroom. Because they must learn to face. As a lion, you can't hunt, you are dead. She takes them with her. She hides them. When she thinks they are strong enough, she will demobilize an animal and leave them. You need to see lions, cubs, learning how to kill. They look hopeless. But from the day they make their first kill, the mother knows they are ready. But the pattern is always difficult. She chases them away brutally, but she does so that their father will not kill them. But what was she doing? She was mapping the future of the next generation of lions. So if animals do this so that they can survive, we have hunted wild animals for their skin, they still survive. It's because they mapped the future. Of course, conservation has helped, but the fundamental thing first must be done. Should young people take on more responsibilities? That is a conversation we must have. I think they should. But the question then is, how prepared have we made them ready to take on the responsibilities? Are they ready to take on the world? Listen to this quotation. You can't win anything with kids. End of quote. Let me repeat it. You cannot win anything with kids. End of quote. It was in 1992. An English newspaper, that was their headline. When Sir Alex Ferguson dismantled the old Manchester United team and brought a team of young people whose average age was about between 18 and 20. Beckham, Giggs, Cole, and so on and so forth. The Neville brothers, they won the league that year. And they created that generation that Ferguson's successors are now trying to replicate. In his latest book,